Big hearty hello and welcome from Nicholas Di Castello de Australian Breathwork College. I'm delighted to have you with us for this core clearing, heart-centered breathwork introduction session. So thank you for turning up. I encourage you to turn everything else off and give yourself the gift of really being present. And if you've got anything to share, hang around to the end and I can answer any questions that you've got and we can open up the lines. But this is a walkthrough of how to be a successful breathwork practitioner in the world and the 9 steps in our core clearing breathwork training. So, in this session, we're going to talk about the magic of core clearing breathwork. We're going to experience a little heart centering breathwork session that has the capacity to regularly decrease the level of stress in 1 minute by 50%, right? And so that's the answer to why do we need to breathe when we've been breathing all our life. I'm going to talk a little bit about breath work in the broader context of our society and why it's the number one personal transformational modality on the planet today. There's a reason for that. Then the pathway to creating a thriving breathwork service to humanity, the 3 pillars and 9 steps, and a little bit about our internationally recognized core clearing breathwork coach training. So, just a snippet about me. I've traveled around the world teaching breathwork for 33 years now. I did my breathwork training in 1992 and have not looked back since. I was an architect at the time and it was quite hard to let go of that, but I had been on the personal growth trail for 4 years at that time, and the more I connected deeply into my heart, the less fulfilled I felt working on drawings and on the computer, CAD and stuff like that. And the more lit up and meaningful my connections with people began to happen, which is kind of funny because architects don't like people in the photos. When we take photos of buildings, we wait for everyone to get out of the way so we get a nice photo. So I look back at my old photos, there's no people in the photos. And now my whole life is filled with people and connection. So that's a testimony to my own growth and coming home to my heart and connecting into myself and then to others through that. So Susan and I actually have been facilitating breathwork training since 1999. So 26 years, every year running a breathwork training. And in that time, we've facilitated over 400 3.5 day residential retreats. So I've gone on a long journey of doing a lot of in-depth, deep healing, emotional healing, trauma healing work with thousands of people. And over that 30 years, I've developed a very elegant and sophisticated style of breath work that's very gentle, very profound, and very powerful. And so I'll be sharing some of the elements of that with you. So my mission is to help awaken a heart-connected humanity, and I'll talk about why I think that's important. And together with Susan, we've raised a family of four, and doing breath work. So I've been a full-time breathwork practitioner for those 30 years. I've not done any other work, and I've created my dream life with breath work. I'm 65 now, and my purpose is to pass the baton on and share what I've learned so that other people can help others to heal and to connect and to grow together and create a fabulous life in the process. So that's my purpose now is to empower you to create your dream life with breathwork. I give a lot of presentations about how to connect from the head to the heart, and this photo is me at the Australasian Integrative Medical Association's National Conference, where I was a keynote speaker quite a while ago, actually. But we have a lot of medical doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists and counselors and professional health workers who do our trainings and come and do our workshops. And so our work is highly regarded professionally. I was on a government committee that got breathwork accredited at certificate 3, 4, and diploma levels as well in the early 2000s. Before Wim Hof really came on the scene, we've been batting away. And thanks to the COVID lockdown in Melbourne, which was fairly severe, where we couldn't run any in-person workshops, what I did was I extracted the essence of our year-long breathwork training and packaged it up into this 14-week program called Core Clearing Breathwork. And I was teaching this process of core clearing in the workshops at Passionately Live, our 3.5 day workshop, for 10 years or so. And this process evolved when I was a master coach. I was life coaching people on the phone before the internet about 15 years ago. And prior to that, I'd just get people to lie down on the floor and breathe. And now I'm talking to them on the phone all around Australia. And I needed to develop a way of helping them to access their subconscious emotional trauma in a gentle and safe way. And so over the time, this process evolved and it became natural to do it online. And because it's very gentle, it's very safe, and it takes people very deep because it bypasses the resistance that's created when we push. Whenever we push, we create resistance. And so now Susan and I are having the time of our lives building a beautiful heart centered community all around the world. We have people in Estonia, Czechoslovakia, Ireland, England, America, Canada, South Africa, Dubai, New Zealand, all around Australia. And we have a beautiful heart centered community. We specialize in helping empaths, right, to find their superpower by using that sensitivity, that emotional sensitivity, learning how to channel that and to master our emotions to be able to help others to heal and grow. So my life, though, hasn't always been a bed of roses and an easy walk. In 1985, when I was 25, I was in the front passenger seat of this car that was involved in a head-on car accident. I lost 5 teeth, had 135 stitches in my face, but I'm happy that my head is still part of my shoulders. And but it really was a big challenge. It threw me for a six and turned my world upside down. And I started to suffer from anxiety, which I found a lot of empaths actually suffer from anxiety because we're not taught how to manage our emotions, and then they build up in our body and cause stress and anxiety. That anxiety led into chronic fatigue, and I was on scholarship at the Australian Institute of Sport at that time as an elite athlete. I ran 2 hours 15 for the marathon. I was running 200 kilometers a week, and I ran in 4 world championships back then. But this chronic fatigue was huge, dark time in my life because I was on scholarship and there was a big expectation to perform. I just kept on bottoming out and running out of energy and not being able to work out what was going on. So it was a very dark and depressing time. I became quite bitter and quite cynical actually, and I did the rounds of everybody that I could find to try to help me. And it wasn't until 1988 that I did my first personal growth workshop. And in that workshop, I woke up. I realized the rules for life. And I had just finished my architectural thesis on the relationship between architecture and quantum physics in 1985. Or it's 1986, it was the year after the accident, actually. So, what I learned in that understanding of quantum physics applied perfectly to manifesting my own life. And I realized that I was the one that had been making my life difficult. I'd been the one that had been putting a lot of stress on myself, and I was the one who could change all of that. And I did. I started to run faster on less training. I moved back from Canberra to Melbourne. I started to set up the workshops that I did myself in Melbourne. And that's how I got involved in personal growth. And then I did some breath work in the late 80s, and that really just resonated so strongly that I just had a passion for it that hasn't stopped and continued to grow. And, I found my purpose in life is helping others to be at their best. So that's how I got to be here in a snapshot. So I'd like to set the tone for our session with one of my favorite breathing practices, which I call spontaneous breath awareness. And this is probably the simplest practice you could ever practice. Not necessarily the easiest, but we are the ones who make it difficult if it's difficult. So, with this, we can use our breath awareness to de stress, to create harmony and balance inside, to find acceptance, and acceptance leads to peace in our heart center community, experience more ease, and discover the delight in the breath and in life, in fact, in the moment. So this is a beautiful, lovely practice that you can do any time of day or night, and I do still. So the instructions here are, first of all, take a breath into your body and just check in for a moment. And I don't know what kind of craziness has been going on in your life today. I've had a few challenges myself, but just take a moment to check in and see where you're at on a stress level from 1 to 10, 1 being totally chilled and relaxed, and 10 being stressed out of your tree. And I'd love for you to throw that number in the chat so that we can just see where everybody's at. So just take a breath, check in on your stress level. Melanie's at 8. Thank you for your honesty and vulnerability there. 7. Yeah, quite a busy day, no doubt. Lots of craziness going on. 7, 5. Yes. 6, 5. No right or wrong, no judgments. It's just this is where we are at the moment, and we'll see. We could check in at the end of the session and see as well, but we'll do this practice and then we will check in again. Okay, thank you everybody for joining in. I appreciate that. Yeah. Um, so what we're going to do is we're just going to become the observer of the breath, and we're going to cultivate the quality of curiosity. Right? So that's the main practice in this. We just become curious about our breath, and I'll guide you in this in a second. And so in this practice, we're not counting the breaths, we're not having a breathing rhythm. We're just letting the breath be as it is, right? So just not changing anything. And that leads it into being unstructured, free flowing, and spontaneous. And when your mind wanders, simply come back to your breath. It says when because everybody's mind wanders. Okay, so don't make that wrong. Don't make it a problem. Just as soon as you notice you're thinking about something else, go, look at that. I'm thinking about something else. I'm going to take a breath in, come back to the breath again. So no problem at all. And if you do that well, you're going to find that this has a sense of effortlessness about it, allowing. And likely to emerge towards the end is a sense of pleasure in the breath. Okay, so let's do this. So I'd like to invite you to sit yourself up nice and straight and let your eyes close gently if that feels okay. And we're going to start by just bringing attention into the present moment. So give yourself permission to be here in this moment just the way you are. Be aware of the stillness and the silence in the background. Let go of trying to get anywhere or make anything happen. And instead, just give yourself permission to be here in this moment just the way you are. And direct your attention to your breath now. Become aware of your breathing, feeling the breath as it comes in through your nostrils, down your throat, feeling your belly expanding or your chest, wherever you're breathing to. Just become aware of your breath. We're cultivating here an attitude of curiosity and acceptance. So just become curious about your breath like you've never noticed it before. Notice the tempo of your breath. Are you breathing fast, regular, or slow? Notice the quality of your breath. Does it feel easy and flowing? Does it feel staccato, jerky? Or does it feel held, tight maybe, some tightness in your chest? Whatever is there, See if you can just allow it to be there. Don't try and change it. Just become curious and notice that. Notice also where your breath is mostly being breathed. Is it in your chest, in your solar plexus, in your belly? Just focusing on the breath, feeling the breath as you breathe in and out, cultivating curiosity and acceptance. Just allow it to be however it is. Notice how your body moves as you're breathing. Are your shoulders rising? Is your belly expanding? Is your chest opening? See if you can notice something else about your breath. Allowing it to be just the way it is so that there's a sense of effortlessness here. Constantly letting go, trying to get anywhere, make anything happen, just allowing everything to be as it is. You might notice some emotion, maybe some tension, maybe a tear, some restlessness, or even some frustration. Just breathing in there and seeing if you can just allow it all to be present. Allow, allow, allow. And if you do this well, there's a good chance that there'll be some sense of pleasure emerging through the moment, some sense of delight in the simple act of breathing and simple act of being here alive in this moment. That's the way, just feeling your breath flowing in and out, expanding and letting go. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to round this off now. So taking another conscious breath in, gently bring yourself back into the present moment, taking a breath in down to your belly. Bring yourself back into the room gently. Imagine you could breathe in now down to your hands and feet. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, let your eyes open gently. And when your eyes are open, take another conscious breath in your body and check in now. Where's the stress level from 1 to 10? In the chat, I'd love you to rewrite the number you put in before and then a dash and the number that's here now. So Melanie, I think Melanie was 7 at the start to down to 4, 8 to 4, 50%. Lewis gone from 5 to 3. Thank you. Belinda, 7 to 4. All popping in now. Great. Yeah. 4 to 1. Joan, yeah, Hodan 6 to 3, Nicole 7 to 5, great. Julie 5 to 3, Connie 7 to 4, Steady on 9, Valerie, you sending lots of love to you. I know you've got a lot going on. Good on you for turning up. And O'Brien 6 to 4. I'm pretty sure if we average those out, they would come out at around 50% stress reduction in 1 minute. For, there's a good chance that you didn't want to come back at the end of that too, by the way. And I did make it on purposely short. But nevertheless, you have a look across the board. There is definitely a general trend towards 50% in 1 minute. And yeah, sure, if we'd done this for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, we would really have shifted that needle big time. So well done, everybody. So I want to talk a little bit about what's going on the planet at the moment. And I believe when we zoom out, we're actually witnessing the birthing pains of a new heart connected humanity across the planet. We're witnessing personal crisis of stress, anxiety, depression, emptiness, loss of passion and purpose, social crisis, timelessness, demands, busyness, isolation, discrimination, wars, and environmental crises. And so, right across the board, personally, socially, and globally, we're seeing crises. And all of these crises, in my opinion, have the same root cause. And that root cause is disconnection. And what's happened to humanity is we've become disconnected from ourselves, from each other, and from the planet. And we've started to look at our body as a machine, at each other as objects, and at the planet as an object that we can use to our own ends, to our own peril. And we've reached really the limit of that disconnection because we are facing extinction now. And so we're witnessing the opportunity to evolve in consciousness as a human species and to evolve into another level of humanity. And you're invited here to be part of that evolution. And what we're working towards is awakening a new heart connected humanity. No amount of solar panels or medication or community programs are ultimately going to make any difference if we don't fix the root cause of the problem, which is our own disconnection within ourselves, the split between our head and our heart. So um, we can heal that with heart-centered breath work. And I believe that that is the reason why there's a absolute boom of breath work around the world, because that's what humanity needs to evolve to this next level of connection. And so in our training, it's much more than just breath work that we're talking about here. It's a whole new way of living, living from our heart, living from connecting more deeply with ourselves, to others, and ultimately to life. And so the invitation is to find purpose and fulfillment in service to helping to awaken a new heart connected humanity with breath work, where you get to feel great about doing something meaningful that really makes a difference. So you might be wondering, do I have what it takes to be a great breathwork practitioner? This is our dear friend Teresa Radcliffe, who was working in a pie shop when we met her. And towards the end of the training, she used her breathwork and emotional intelligence skills to become a funeral director and help people with bereavement at that early stage of going through the grief process. And she's just a beautiful person. And funnily enough, when she got the job, she realized, remembered when she was a little girl, she wanted to work in the funeral industry. And she's just a lovely, beautiful soul of very down to earth and very loving, just wonderful. So the prerequisites to be a great heart-centered breathwork facilitator is you need to have suffered. The more you've suffered, the better you're going to be, because suffering breeds compassion. That's the gift of going through suffering, is we actually care about other people that are suffering because we know what suffering feels like. And often our graduates specialize in helping people to get through challenges that they've gone through themselves with less suffering, right? The second prerequisite is it's helpful if you felt alone. Because if you know what loneliness and aloneness feels like, then you know also the opposite of that, of what it feels like to be connected heart to heart with others. And in a breathwork session, you go to such deep level. It's like soul to soul level connection. And it's such an honor and a privilege to be present with people when they're journeying inside and opening up their heart. It touches you deeply. And I find it's somewhere it fulfills something in me, some deep need for deep level of connection. And I just feel filled up at that level. Talking about that, if you felt unfulfilled and you'd like a meaningful way to generate a great income, then this is for you. Like some of our breathwork graduates have trouble charging their clients because they already feel like they've received so much, and it feels like such a sacred process to guide people through. But at the same time, we need to do energy out, energy in to keep things in balance. And so if you feel unfulfilled, you're in transition, then this could be a great path for you. If you've been stuck, that's a great prerequisite also, because you probably have a passion for personal and spiritual growth, which is getting unstuck and moving forward in your life. And maybe you've been unacknowledged, and that raises your awareness of the importance of acknowledging others and inspiring the greatness in yourself and in others. And like, it's not us that does the work. We hold the space for the work to happen in. The quality of the work is mainly dependent upon the quality of our presence, which is a reflection of how much of our own trauma we've cleared and how open and clear a channel for love we are. And so that's the work, though. We're not doing it, we're just holding space for it to happen in. And so that's a beautiful process. And it's so lovely to get that feedback from our clients' appreciation. So we work with a model of getting the gifts from the wounds, right? So when you suffer, you also develop great compassion to help others through that suffering as a natural outcome of it. I think everybody gets that. Let me know in the chat if you've got any of these. Let me know your response when I tell you this, because it's not normally like the prerequisites we might expect to see in here. Let me know which one of these stands out for you. Just throw a number in the chat. Let me know which of these, like, you go, yep, that's definitely me. I could help in that area. Like, I know that one. Uh, the more you engage in the chat, the more you're in this process. Rather than a spectator of it, you become a participant, and you'll find you get more value from it. Yep, all five, 1 to 5, all of them. Yes, welcome to the club. It's called being human. Yes, we all know all of them. Yes, thank you everybody for your vulnerability and honesty there. So we are at an amazing time right now in our society where people are shifting from manual work to actually to healing and to growth and to health and well-being. Like, with all of the AI, the question is, what jobs are going to be left? And obviously, hopefully, the evolution of the human soul will be top of agenda. If we don't have to just work hard to earn a living, we can aspire to the higher qualities of life. And so we're witnessing that now in the health and wellness industry, $5.6 trillion per year market. And breath work is at the top of that list. It's the number one most popular modality at the moment. So being a breathwork facilitator, there has never been a better time. Susan and I have been batting away in the doldrums in the background for years, and now suddenly everybody's talking about breathwork. So this is a great time to get into it, and it happens also at the same time that there's alarming rises in stress and anxiety in adults and in youth as well. So we have whole programs helping youth to manage anxiety that you get in the training. The benefits are scientifically validated. So we have also a module on taking breathwork into the corporate workplace. And a lot of our graduates are already health professionals or healers. And so they're blending breathwork in to help to work more deeply and holistically with their clients. So hopefully you get that, and you can see the opportunity that's here. So now I want to talk about the three pillars and the 9 steps to creating a life that you love in service to others with breathwork. As I mentioned at the start, my training is really focusing on helping empaths to channel their gift called empathy to being a superpower to creating a life that they love. Now, the three challenges that I've noticed that empaths tend to suffer from is they get tired and burnt out from overgiving. Because we feel everyone else's pain, we just want to help everyone else, and it's easy to lose ourselves in that. The second challenge is that I've noticed about empaths is that they get stagnant. Empaths feel that there's another layer underneath what we're seeing. We know there's more to life than what's on the surface. And empaths have a constant hunger to continue to grow and to learn new things and to ultimately to grow spiritually as well. And they have a passion to go deeper. It's a bit of a catchphrase in our community is to go deeper. And we love going deep with our clients and with ourselves. And often empaths not so good at business and marketing because we tend to be good at giving, but not so good at asking and receiving and running the business side of it. So let me know if you relate to one, two, or three of these. Throw a number in the chat. Let me know how many people relate to all three of these. And all three, all, yes, 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 yeah, yeah. One and two, particularly, yeah. So the training is structured around solving these three problems or addressing them. And the first response is to fill up our own cup to full, right? So we need to go on our own personal healing and growth journey because you can't take anyone deeper into their emotions and you can't give from an empty cup. So if you're a breathwork practitioner, you have to keep on doing your own healing and clearing journey because working in the area does bring up your stuff. And that's a good thing because it accelerates your growth if you process it. If you don't process it, then you get burnt out and overwhelmed and flooded, right? So a big part of the training, a third of the training is your own personal growth. The next pillar in the training is learning some profound heart-centered breathwork skills. So you're on your growth edge and you will learn things in this training that are incredibly simple, as Lewis said at the start. They're common sense things. The most common feedback I get in the training is, you know, Nicholas, I already knew all of this. I just never heard anybody say it before. So I call this uncommon common sense. And what you'll learn in the training is actually a pathway of living from your heart, a spiritual growth pathway that will end when you're enlightened, when you're fully present and your heart is fully open and you are just a clear channel presence for love. And then the third pillar is how do you build a business in service to others? How do you turn that into a lifestyle that's rich and fulfilling, doing what you love? So I built this core clearing training with these three challenges in mind, and I'm going to show you how we meet each of these challenges. So the first pillar was shifting from tired and drained to overwhelmed and shifting to inspired, excited, and energized. And at the moment, I'm building out a complete range of heart-centered breath work that includes the history of the breath work, the major founders, the science behind them, and the meditation and practices. And so in this training, you'll learn the full spectrum of different breathing cycles that are on the planet at the moment and how they relate to each other. And you'll get those recorded in PowerPoints so that you can teach them to others. The second step in filling up your cup is learning to cultivate heart coherence. Heart coherence is a peak state of being where your nervous system is regulated, you're present and connected, and you're centered in your heart, in your intuitive heart's wisdom. And that is backed by over 25 years of scientific research, mainly by the Institute of Heart Math in America, that have a biofeedback device that can map out how present and connected and harmoniously you're in relation to your own heart. Using that biofeedback technology, they've conducted double-blind experiments that demonstrate that when people are present and connected in their heart, they function at their peak, physically, health-wise, mentally, sporting-wise, workplace. And so there's a whole body of knowledge and wisdom now based around this heart coherence. When we're in a heart coherent state, we're in the flow state that you know of as the dancer. The dancer is in flow. And this is the practice that we encourage people to live in their everyday life. The third area of the personal growth for the training is the Tune Up Your Life program. And there's 8 areas that we look at over 10 weeks. And each week you look at a different area and you explore where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, where you're blocked or stuck. And then I guide a core clearing breathwork meditation process to help you identify and clear anything that's holding you back in any of these 8 areas. So there's an introduction week and a conclusion week, and it makes the 10-week program. All of these people are members of our community that are just total legends in their own right. And maybe on another session, I'll explain who they are. So that's the personal growth pillar, how you fill up your cup to full to overflowing. The second major pillar in the training is to facilitate profound breakthroughs, to shift from stagnant, stuck, bored, unfulfilled to confident, inspired, excited, and fulfilled. And there's 3 steps in this as well. And the first one is learning to facilitate self-regulation and co-regulation. Self-regulation is bringing ourselves into a state of harmony and balance and clarity centered in our heart. And then co-regulation is how to be present as a channel for love, for healing. Because what I've discovered over the years is it's the quality of your presence that determines the ease and rate of healing in your body and also when you're holding space for others. It's not just the breath, it's the quality of your presence that makes the biggest difference. When we're present and connected in our body, we create a field of love that's the catalyst for that transformation to happen in. And the quality of our presence activates the natural tendency towards health, peace, happiness, wholeness, aliveness that's innate in nature. Right? So underpinning all of our heart-centered breathwork practices is a basic trust in the goodness of life, which is a natural tendency to health and happiness and wholeness when we're present and connected and we're surrendered to the breath. So we use all of that and we do our own emotional healing to open up our heart, right? And so you'll learn emotional and heart intelligence skills that empower you to be at your peak and hold that loving space for others. Melanie's here on the session with us. Melanie already introduced herself. Melanie is just such an inspiring person who shifted in the training from CPTSD to happy mom and thriving breathwork coach. Melanie is one of our master coaches. She is readily accessible when you do the training. So we have a WhatsApp chat where all of our master coaches are supervising that, and you can jump in there and connect to any of them whenever you like and get amazing support from these beautiful heart-centered people. Oh yes, Melanie started teaching the breathwork practices in module 1 before she finished module 2. She was already working as a coach, and I was just amazed at how she brought that straight into the practice and started teaching her clients simple breathing practices like we did before with the spontaneous breath awareness. The second step in facilitating breakthroughs is learning the actual core clearing process, which is a holistic approach to guiding people through trauma, through blocks, through turmoil, to connect from the head to the body, to the emotions, and into their heart, right? And so that's the 4-step process that I've mapped out and developed over the 30 years of facilitating deep emotional healing. And I've woven that together into a systematic process that comes with a template that guides your clients through a breathwork session, and it gives you the confidence to know that they're going to end the session feeling complete and whole and integrated and coming out with a benefit from the session. And Melanie just recently told me she had done 400 hours of sessions with people, and she had never had one session where somebody was disappointed or didn't get value from the session. So that's pretty amazing. That's that 400, the first 400 hours also. Yeah. So, yeah. And so when you do the call clearing training and I give you the template, the script template, you're going to say, could it be this simple? And yes, it is. But the power in it is not in the complexity. The power is actually in the quality of your presence and the work that you do on yourself. Right. So someone who's facilitating close to miracle level transformations from people is Marlon Walker. He's in Paran. He was a remedial masseur turned breathwork practitioner. And he has like 55-star reviews and people talking about how they've shifted physical pain out of their body, chronic physical pain that they've had forever in one session using our heart-centered breathwork practices. Right. And so using those testimonials, Marlon's able to charge $2,000 for a 6 session package, right? Sometimes people do multiple sessions a week with him to if they come from interstate or they're just in a hurry to get it all done. And so, he's doing incredibly well and doing deep healing work with people. And you can look him up if you like later on. And the third step in facilitating profound breakthroughs that I really love about the call clearing process is we're empowering our clients to become more self-aware and to trust their own intuitive guidance. So instead of our clients looking to us as the source of wisdom, we're the bypass, we're the bystander, we're the Sherpa, we're the guide for them. We're holding their hand and guiding them through their own process. And so as people heal their trauma, there's a processional effect, which is the transformation that happens at a right angle to the direction of travel. Like when you drop a pebble in a pond, the ripples go out at a right angle to it. And the precessional effect in this context is that when people are facing a challenge in their life, our perspective on that is actually an opportunity to grow spiritually because what's being called for is for us to develop what we call a heart quality and a heart practice in response to that challenge that we need to cultivate to overcome it. And so we have a framework for 12 heart qualities and 12 heart practices, which are really a spiritual way of living that's universal. It doesn't involve a religion. It's the religion of love, as Bob Marley said. His religion is love. And so we have this framework of heart-centered living then that permeates every breathwork session, every gathering that we have in our community. And in fact, the whole year, we have it based around the 12 heart qualities, which one a month that we explore. And in the session, your clients you tune into their own heart intelligence and they get guidance about which of those heart qualities they're being called to cultivate to master the challenge that they're facing in the moment. Thank you, Hodan. It's in the other room, but we have a whole set of cards based on the heart qualities as well, 48 cards. So there's 4 cards set on each of the heart qualities, and they're beautiful. It's lovely. Thanks everybody for that, for the chat endorsement. We have Robin, who's a Girl Guides instructor. So she's running programs now in the Girl Guides to help the girls raise emotional intelligence from the work that she's done with us. The third pillar, then, the last one, is how do you create a thriving service, an enduring service that's sustainable, shifting from working hard and just surviving to enjoying the freedom lifestyle. And as I said, Susan and I have been doing this for 30 years now. And over that time, we would have spent over $50,000 learning different marketing and developing our own system through a lot of pain and suffering that I hope to save you from. And so the steps that are important in this system that is built into the training, and you get this with the training. First thing you need to do to build a business is you need someone to work with. So you need to generate leads, and then you need to have an enrollment conversation. You need to be able to shift them from being a prospect to being a customer. And then you deliver a high value program, right? So I built a program called Tune Up Your Life that you get with this program that people right from the start charging $700 to $1,000 to deliver the program to their clients. It's all mapped out, everything that you need to do step by step. It's a plug and play. And so you deliver that high value program. You can pay for the training with three clients doing this. And you then build a business with referrals because you create profound life changing transformations over a 10-week program that maps the program that you're doing yourself in the training. Jackie McCarthy is down in Torquay, and she's a Pilates teacher. She's an ex-dancer. She set up a coaching kind of model with Breathwork where her clients get one time slot in the calendar each week. She's up to charging $297 a week on recurring basis. Some of the people in her group have been in that group for 2 years. She started at $100 a week, and she's built it up over that time now to $297. If they want to just do one breathwork session with her, it's $397. So there's incentive to enroll. When they enroll, they become part of her private Facebook group, and she nurtures them in there as well. So you need a high value, life changing program to deliver to create a thriving life in service to others. So I built the program for you, ready to plug and play, including all the graphics and the marketing, the Facebook ads, the text. Everything is in there and mapped out for you. How to get clients, their email sequences, what to do in every session. There's a handbook that maps it all out for you, ready to just plug and play. And you can charge anything between $900 and $2,000 to guide clients through that. Somebody who sent their assessment in that I hadn't heard since she finished the training is Katie Scope, middle of outback Western Australia, in a mining town, orange dust. She has toddlers, so she set up a kindergarten emotional intelligence session. She set up a women's circle in the town for the wives and the women there, and then she enrolled them into the 10-week program. By the time she sent her assessment in, she'd had three clients enrolled in the program, and she'd already paid for the whole training. And best of all is the feedback that she got, and no words will ever tell you how much this means to me, was from her very first client that she took through the 10-week program, right? So this is all very, very doable. It's not pie in the sky thinking. It's actually, we have lots and lots of people actually doing this. And then the third step in creating a thriving lifestyle and a profitable business with it is setting up your own heart-centered community. And so we have a lot of resources to help you to facilitate group breathwork sessions and ongoing heart-centered breathwork groups, 10-week terms and things like that. So that's one of my visions, is to create a global network of heart-centered breathwork practitioners that we can help to raise the consciousness and awaken a new heart-centered community. So Alicia just ran a 3-hour emotional healing workshop in Brisbane, and this workshop you get in the training. It's all mapped out, everything that you need to do minute by minute. There's a schedule, there's a script for guiding people through the whole process, and it all leads into enrolling them into the 10-week Tune Up Your Life program. So that's how do we build a thriving breathwork business. You need to tick each of those 9 boxes. And just briefly, I'll talk a little bit about the structure of the actual training. There's three modules in the training. The first module is on self and co-regulation. It's self-paced. And there's three main elements in it. There's an emotional mastery book, a 1 hour audio of the 4 steps to connect from your head to your heart, and a 5, 10, and 20-minute heart centering meditation that people are still using 20 years on from when I first recorded this. They're studio recorded. You get the transcripts of these that are better than my recording because I've now re-edited the transcripts. And so they're all tuned up so that you can actually re-record them in your own voice and give them to your clients and use them as lead magnets themselves. So these are the three key pieces in module one. They'll take you about an afternoon to do the book, a couple of hours to read, 1 hour audio, and then you start practicing the heart centering practice. We have lots of people who do this every day in our community. The heart centering is healing and centering and just brings you home to that peace and love and happiness in your heart. As a bonus in module one, you'll get the 12 1 minute breathing practices across the full spectrum of breathing styles. Thank you, Connie, who's dived in just on module one. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. There's a 1 day workshop on what would your life look like if you just listened to and followed your heart. A lot of people are in transition when they do our training from just doing a job to doing something that's meaningful and fulfilling. So I'll put this 1 day workshop into the training to help people get a crystal clear vision of what their life would look like. Basically, if you just did what you love and followed your heart, which is what I've been doing for the last 30 years, and it worked. As well as that, the third bonus in module one is there are 17 now sessions, 1 hour sessions of me helping you to be the best breathwork practitioner you can be. Understanding empathy as a superpower, finding confidence, self and co regulation, avoiding burnout, trauma informed care, and building a business with breathwork. And then there's 11 sessions on working with specific issues that your clients might come to you with. So you've got it all in there from my 30 years experience, exactly what causes these issues and how to help people heal them from a heart intelligent perspective. So our approach in our community is countercultural because we believe that the thoughts come second to the feelings. In our culture, we're all the time trying to change the thoughts to change the feelings. But what we do is we go under the thoughts, help people identify the emotional trauma they're carrying, resolve that, come to peace and happiness in the heart. And what happens is they change the way they think and act and feel and the results that they get in their life. So you get a full range of support around how to work with specific issues. These resources are available in an ongoing way. So if you have a client coming to you suffering from anxiety, say, you can just listen to the 1 hour audio teaching on how to work with them, specifically on mastering anxiety. So the second module then is the 10-week You Can Change Your Life program, right? So each week for 10 weeks, you look at a different area of your life under the supervision of our master coaches. We have 7 beautiful master coaches. There's Melanie there, and so they're instantly available to you. They're all very human and very loving, very understanding and patient and very supportive. And you get direct access to them from a WhatsApp chat. And so usually people get a response within half an hour to any questions that they have in there, and support and swap sessions and things are available in that. So when you've done that 10-week program, after the 2 days training, you get the same program simplified a little bit to deliver to your clients. And that's the high value 10-week program that you deliver. So you've gone through it yourself and then you know it from the inside out. You get everything done for you in that, exactly what to do in each session, email sequences before and after sessions, the marketing plan, Facebook ads, enrollment script. It's all done in there. So that's module 2. Module 3 then is the breathwork skills training. So the breathwork skills is Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., with 4 follow-on classes on the following 4 Wednesday nights. The next training is the 14th and 15th of February, which is 10 days time, right? And so basically, in about 2 weeks, if you enroll in this training, you could be facilitating sessions straight away. You can get professional indemnity insurance as a student through the IICT for $79, right? So, and you get the template guide script, and that will help you to get confidence to facilitating sessions. You'll be swapping sessions in the follow-on classes already, and a lot of people take their husband, their wives, their kids, their friends through core clearing breathwork sessions on the Sunday night of the training, right? And what I road tested and tried out. We have a lot of professional people here. And something that really surprised me about the training is that it actually became personally transformative. And one of our star graduates, Sarah Moore, is an educational leader mentor, right? And so she teaches school principals on how to self-regulate. And she just had rave feedback about her experience in the training itself. She said the container you held was so attuned, so safe. It allowed each of us to show up more fully as ourselves. Very quickly, a field of resonance formed. The group coherence was palpable. It felt like the level of oxytocin in the space was rising moment by moment, and with it, our capacity to be more open, more present, and more real. So people have adapted, sorry, to the Zoom meetings. And there's amazing intimacy and connection and love and support that comes through in our Heart Center group for everybody that's in there. So you will feel held and nurtured and supported during that process in an amazing way, something that you may never have experienced before in the quality of that energy. So, included in the training is the emotional healing workshops. There's a full 32-page book that I've written, A4 size book that's got everything in there about how to set up a workshop, how to find participants, the program for the 3 hour workshop, the 90-minute workshops as well, and how to facilitate it and how to structure it so that it leads into, at the end of the day, people wanting to go further with you and enroll in the 10-week program. So if you add everything up in summary, then you get the 3 levels of breath work, mentoring with Susan and myself and master coaches twice a month, the core clearing script, the high value tune up your life program, group breathwork sessions, the whole business in a box, marketing and sales, enrollment script, Facebook ads. You swap sessions during the training in a safe and supportive private breakout room. So there's just you and one other person, and you go through the process and you guide the other person through the process. So you get experience that leads to confidence. There's full manuals, handbooks, everything is recorded. All of the sessions are recorded, and you can go back and access them whenever you like. We're internationally recognized by the IICT, which is the leading health provider for natural therapies, professional indemnity insurance, and you get to join our global heart center community. So this is not just a course that leaves you, see you later, here's the course. No, you become part of a community and you can plug into that. We have lots of ongoing programs. We have a Heart Centered Living program that meets every month on the first Tuesday night of the month at the moment. It's $17 to be part of that as a regular member. It's a no-brainer if you want to keep on staying connected in your heart and continuing to grow. And each month we look at a different heart quality in that. So if you add all of that up, it comes to over $10,000 worth of value. And for the moment, for a limited time, we are charging 70% discount on that. So everything that you've seen is included. It's all complete. There's nothing held back. And you can join the training for $29.50, and you can pay that in 6 monthly installments of $491, or if you pay up front, there's a small discount to $2,700. So that's available. You can pay for this whole training in 3 clients, right? So this is a real investment opportunity just enroll 3 clients in the 10-week program. You've paid for the training, you've got it for life, and it's going to be an amazing source of ongoing growth for you. Kim Marie was on unemployment benefits. She was on health leave, and she set up her business within a month. She had 1,700 members on Facebook, if that's your thing. There's so many opportunities now for free advertising to build a community with you. She'd enrolled 3 clients by the time she finished her assessment and paid for her training. Now, if you're thinking about enrolling or if you've already enrolled recently, um, I'm offering a special super bonus to encourage people to throw their hat over the fence. And we have 7 10-minute breathwork meditations based on these themes that we're going to throw in as a bonus if you book a clarity session with me or enroll in the training in the next 24 hours. And if you haven't got this and you're in our community, send me an email and we'll send you the link to that as well. When you register, you go straight to the members side. All of the modules are there. It's very, very obvious and easy and intuitive to work you way through the sessions, and you'll get the registration link and you can log in there. So if you're keen to become a breathwork coach, this is an intimate community. I know everybody in our training, and I like to because it's a personal thing, and I want to ensure that everybody gets personal support from me. And so I'm very available in the community. And so if you're interested in joining the training, then we need to set up a clarity session. And that's a 30-minute chat about where you are and what you want, and then I can help you map out a path to get there. And in the feed, O'Brien's just put the link to book a clarity session. If you're interested in becoming a breathwork practitioner, you haven't had a clarity session yet, then I encourage you to book a time there. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out. I'd love to hear in the chat, what's your big takeaway from this? Whether you've done the training before and you've come along to support the newbies here, or you just turned up first of all. I'd love to hear some feedback about what stood out from this session that we're in. And while you're writing that, I would, oh, you're a fast typer, Linda. Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you. We'll talk. Send me an email, Hoden, and we can, yeah, I'd love to have a chat to you, a catch-up chat. So some of the common questions that I get while you're writing your feedback to me for this session, I'm not sure that I've healed all my stuff yet. And most common concern that people have, and I just want to say, if I was waiting till I had all my stuff sorted, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have started yet. So it's not necessary to deal with all your stuff. And in fact, we are not in the business of getting it all together. We are actually in the business of finding a way of loving ourselves where we are now. That is possible for all of us. And that realization that you don't have all your stuff together is a wonderful, humbling realization that I hope you never lose, because we are all on the learning trail, and being humble about our humanity helps us to be available and in relationship with our clients. So there's not a problem there, it's actually a gift. And I have been in emotional turmoil, going through a marriage breakdown and all kinds of craziness going on in my life, and facilitate some amazing sessions because I was so raw and open and really present and connected. Don't know if I've got the time. This training is very plug and play. It's stripped down to its essence. It's the 10-week program is an hour and a half a week. It's one session, morning, evening, night, whenever it suits you. An hour and a half, and then there's practical things that you just blend into your day to do from that. There's 2 days training, Saturday and Sunday, and the 4 follow-on evenings. So it's really, really time efficient. There's an assessment to do, but again, that involves taking a case study through the 10-week program, which is what you're doing anyway when you're sharing this. You're just logging it all as you go. The third challenge, don't have the money. And if that's you, I would say commit and you'll find a way. If you needed to find the money, you would find a way of finding the money. And you can actually start, if you're really, really challenged, with a $200 deposit and get access to Module 1. At the moment, I am planning to change that scheme. So if that's you, you better jump in fast, super fast. What if I miss a session is another question that I often get. Remember, everything's recorded. You can go back and catch up. It happens. That's life. People miss a session here and there, and that's okay. It's not the best, but you can actually do that and you can catch up with the master coaches if you need support on anything. They will guide you through that. So, yeah, so thank you, everybody. Melanie, I see your lovely essence. And hopefully, if you're here, you've got a sense of what it's like in our community. Is it all online? Is a common question. And so the answer is yes, it's all online. You can do it from home, and you'll be amazed at the depth of connection and love and support that actually consistently people comment on that is actually palpable in our groups. Yeah, good on you, Ferry. Lovely to have you here. The times Saturday and Sunday for the live trainings. That's me presenting live online. I'm actually presenting still, and 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So really easy. Every hour we have a break. You have to walk around the outside of your house to stay present and connected in your body. And people end that weekend feeling refreshed and alive and open-hearted. So beautiful, beautiful process to journey through. So that completes the training part of this. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and any feedback in the comments, I appreciate there. Um, yeah, thanks, Lewis. Uh, Informative. Thanks, Hodan. Lovely. In the WhatsApp group, great. Send you the link to that. Very no problems. Uh, Yeah, heaps and heaps of resources. Thanks, Nicole. Lovely to have you with us. Thanks, everybody. And hopefully it's just I'm just doing what I love, and I feel so lucky to have landed in this place. Not by ease necessarily, but over a lot of years of dedicated work, and I've pulled this together and polished it up and polished it up. So it's just a brilliant training, and most of all, we're surrounded by this beautiful heart-centered community that I'm so grateful for, really. And you can plug into that and join us. So I'm going to stop the recording now. If you're listening to a recording, good on you for getting to the end of it. And book a time to connect with me. You'll probably find a link somewhere near the recording. I'd love to have a chat if you're interested in becoming a heart-centered breathwork practitioner. So I look forward to catching up again. And thanks again, everybody, for being here, especially O'Brien and Susan for holding the space, and for our graduates coming along to cheer everybody along here. Thank you so much for turning up. I really appreciate it.